Ever read a daily devotional and wondered, how does this actually work? How does it connect with people and get them to take action? Well, today, we're going to dig into one called The Call to Endure. We're going to break it down to see its structure, its core message, and the really impressive framework it builds for its followers.
All right, let's get into it. We're going to follow the devotional's own path here. We'll start with the core belief it's built on, then look at the problem it's trying to solve, see the specific mindset it's pushing for, and then explore the surprisingly deep support system it offers before we get to the final takeaway.
So, first things first, any message like this has to start somewhere everyone can agree on, right? It needs a common ground, a foundational belief to build everything else on. And this devotional sets that up right from the get-go. It all kicks off with this one verse from the book of James. Now, this single sentence is doing a ton of heavy lifting. It introduces patience, the idea of strengthening your heart, and most importantly, this idea that the Lord's return is near. It immediately sets a tone of, hopeful waiting.
So here's the bottom line. The entire message hinges on this core belief in what's called the second coming. It positions the reader in a very specific place and time, this sort of in-between period, waiting for a massive future event. Everything flows from that one idea.
But, waiting isn't always easy, right? And the devotional knows this. It doesn't pretend it is. In fact, it dives right into the central conflict, the problem that this whole waiting game creates for people of faith.
And this is so smart. It doesn't shy away from the hard stuff. It leans right into it. By saying life can be filled with struggles, it instantly validates what the reader is probably feeling. It makes you feel seen. It's a classic setup. Here's the problem you're experiencing. Now let me give you the solution.
So that naturally leads to the big question that the rest of the devotional is designed to answer. If we're waiting for this incredible event, but life is tough right now, how in the world are we supposed to handle it? This creates a need that the message is just about to fill.
And this is where we get to the good stuff, the solution. The devotional lays out its game plan. It defines exactly what this endurance thing is supposed to look like, and it turns out it's a very specific, very active way of thinking.
Yeah, check this out. The devotional draws a super clear line in the sand. This is not about passive suffering, just letting life beat you down, losing hope. No way. It's pushing for active endurance. That means being patient, staying strong, and having a joyful, hopeful outlook, all because you're focused on that future event.
Okay, so how do you actually do that? Well, to make this idea real, the text breaks it down into two super clear, actionable steps. First, a little self-reflection. Take a look at how you're enduring. And second, a direct action. Pray for strength. This takes a big idea and turns it into a personal to-do list. And get this, to make it even easier, it doesn't just tell you to pray. It literally gives you the words to say. This little prayer here acts like a script, which totally takes the guesswork out of it. It makes it incredibly simple for anyone to just do it.
But the message doesn't stop with a nice thought and a prayer. Nope. This is where things get really interesting. It goes way beyond the daily message by building an entire support system, a real, practical framework to keep people engaged.
This is where you see it transform from just a daily reading into this whole ecosystem. It's all designed to keep you connected and engaged long after you've put your phone down for the morning.
And just look at how deep this ecosystem goes. You've got books for anyone who wants to learn more, a specific prayer for new folks just joining, direct contact info for a personal touch, and of course, the whole social media suite. WhatsApp, Telegram, Facebook, YouTube. There are so many different doors you can walk through to get more involved.
Okay, this part is just fascinating. It's not just a vague, hey, let's all pray. This is a coordinated, global operation. When you see these times laid out across Nigeria, the US, the UK, India, it creates this incredibly powerful feeling that you're part of something huge, a worldwide community all participating in the same activity together. It builds a real sense of unity.
All right, so how do they stick the landing? The whole devotional wraps up with one last powerful directive that pulls everything we've talked about and brings it right back home to you, the individual reader.
This ending is so direct, so personal. It takes this grand theological idea of Christ returning for His church, and then it zooms all the way in with two tiny but powerful words, including you. Bam. Suddenly this big abstract concept is about you. It reinforces your personal role and responsibility in this whole story.
And that really leaves us with the big question to chew on, doesn't it? We've seen a spiritual message that sets up a problem and offers a solution.
But we've also seen this highly organized, practical support network with books, digital groups, and global prayer schedules. So the real question is, how does this fusion of deep belief and structured community work together to create such a complete and compelling framework? It's a powerful model and one that's clearly connecting with people all over the world.